Hello, this is Mrs. Rodolphi, and I'm going to go over Lesson 25-2 practice in the SpringBoard book on page 378. So in this lesson, it goes over special products of binomials. And after taking notes, you should see some patterns that can help us predict the answer with certain types of binomial expressions with multiplication. So in this one, I'm going to copy down the different patterns for each type, and then we're going to use those to solve these. So I would recommend for the test and even the quiz, writing these down on a note card just so they're all in one place and you don't have to flip through the book for the quiz. And the test, you can only use a note card. So some patterns that we observed in the lesson that I'm just going to write in the notes section over here is if we have a binomial a, our answer is going to be a squared minus b squared, because it cancels out that middle term. If we're adding b and then subtracting b, it'll end up canceling those out. Another one, if we see a plus b, we are going to use the pattern a squared plus 2 times a times b plus b squared. And then if we have a, the pattern will be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So let's use these patterns to help us, and it will take some extra work away without having to actually solve these out fully. So for the first one, 10, x minus 4 times x plus 4. So I have my same a value, x, and now for my b value, I'm going to go with this first rule, a plus b times a minus b. So it equals a squared. Well, a is x, so I know that's going to equal x squared. And then 4 as my b value. 4 squared is 16, so minus 16. And that's our answer. Now you could use the box method or distributive property or FOIL to find this, which is completely fine, but if you know these rules, squared, well, that's the a plus b squared, so that's an equal a squared, so x squared, 2 times a times b. So 2 times a is my x, b is my 4, so that's 4x, which is 8x. And then b squared, 4 is my b value, 4 squared is plus 6. Plus 10 times y minus 10. That goes back to this first rule up here. So it's y squared minus b squared, or a squared minus b squared, so y squared. And then b value is 10. 10 squared is 100, so minus 100. This one right here, a squared, y is my a, y squared, minus 2 times a times b. So we have 10 is our b value, times a, y, 10y, and then times 2 would be 20. b squared, 10 squared is 100. 2x minus 3 squared, so that also looks like this last one, a minus b squared. So the first one is a squared. 2x squared. Remember, we have to square that coefficient. 2 squared is 4. 4. And then minus 2 times a times b. So we have 2x times 3 is 6x. And then times 2 again is 12x minus 12x. And then plus 3 squared, 9. Number 15, 2x minus 3 a squared minus b squared. So a squared 2x squared is going to be 4x squared. And then minus b squared, well, b is 3, so minus 9. 16, 5x plus 1 squared, that looks like this pattern, a plus b squared. So a squared, 5x squared, 5 squared is 25, and then x squared, plus 2ab, so 1 is 5x, times 2 is 10x, plus 10x, and then b squared, 1 squared, plus 1. 2y minus 1 times 2y minus 1. Well, that's the same as a minus b squared, because if we wrote that out, it'd be a minus b times a minus b. Squared is 4y squared. Minus 2 times a times b. So 2y times 1 is 2y, and then times 2 is 4y. And then b is 1, 1 squared plus 1. By the products, x minus 3 squared and x plus 3 times x minus 3 have different terms. Equals x minus 3 times x minus 3. So that would follow the pattern up here, where it would equal an a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Whereas if we have x plus 3 times x minus 3, that is going to follow the pattern up here, which would be a squared minus b squared, which would only give us 2 terms. So if we minus 3 squared, then that's going to give us 3 terms. But if we out our middle term, and we're just left with our a squared and b squared terms. All right, please write these patterns down on a note card so that you can use them on the quiz and test. They will help you to find these answers more quickly. See you day. Bye.